Hi there, my name is Sam, and I'm going to explain how to use apostrophes. So apostrophes can be used to show possession. In this case, you add an apostrophe S unless the word is plural and already ends with an S. In that case, you would just add the apostrophe to show the possession. For example, you could have this apostrophe S in Sam's hat to show that the hat belongs to Sam. If you had multiple hats that belonged to multiple people, you would have apostrophe S after each of the names of the people who had the hats. In this example, Sam's and Barbara's hats were stolen. Both Sam and Barbara have hats. In the next example, where you have Sam and Barbara's files were stolen, in this case, there's only one apostrophe S after Barbara, which indicates that the files jointly belong to both Sam and Barbara. They each don't have their own separate files. When you have a word like ladies that is plural and ends in an S, then you don't add an extra S, you just use an apostrophe. So when you have the word ladies, because it is plural already and it ends in an S, you just have the apostrophe. On the other hand, if you have a word that is singular, like waitress, and it ends in an S, you have to add the apostrophe S. So here you can see the waitress's tip was amazing. You have that apostrophe S after the end of waitress. So these are some rules about how you add apostrophes and S's to words to show possession, that something belongs to somebody else. It doesn't have to be an actual item that belongs to somebody else, like a physical item. It could be something abstract, like freedom or sanity, that could belong to somebody else. The second way that you use apostrophes is to show omission of letters and numbers. So for example, in contractions, which you're probably really familiar with, so your, their, its in these cases, you are omitting certain letters and you're using the apostrophe to indicate this omission. In addition, you can omit numbers. So in this case, where you would have the class of 99, this is omitting the numbers 19, so 1 and 9 before 99. You would not use apostrophes if you are just referring to decades in general, like the 1980s. You don't use apostrophes in those cases. You are not omitting any letters. You are not showing that anything is possessive. The third way that you use apostrophes is for clarity. So you could have something in a sentence that would be confusing or misread if you didn't have the apostrophe. In this example, dot your I's and cross your T's, you can see that it would be confusing for the IS, which could be misread as is, for example, if there was no apostrophe. You probably won't use this a lot in your academic writing, but this is something that apostrophes are also used for. So the number one mistake I see that students make is they use apostrophes to pluralize words, but this is not actually a feature of apostrophes. So if you had the sentence, the students learned many things in class, students is plural, just ends in an S, it is plural. But sometimes, because it sounds the same and students think that apostrophes make words plural, they would add an apostrophe in the word students. So they would have the student apostrophe S learned many things in class. But you would go back to your 3 rules of apostrophes. Is this showing a possession? Is it omitting something? Is it being used for clarity? And if it's not doing one of those 3 things, then you shouldn't include the apostrophe. So don't do that. This is an activity here where you can see 4 sentences and consider, do you need an apostrophe? And if so, where would you put it? So take a minute and think about that, and when you're ready, unpause the video and you can see the answers. So these are the answers to the sentences. You can see in the first sentence for the dog's toys, because the toys belong to the dog, there is an apostrophe S there. If there were more than one dog, then you would have the apostrophe after the S. So to show that it's dogs, plural, and then you would just have that apostrophe. But because I chose to think there is just one dog, then there's the apostrophe after the G before the S. For the second sentence, no apostrophe is needed because it's, which many of you might have thought, okay, well, you need to have an apostrophe with it's. It isn't that word. This is a commonly confused word, and you would only use the apostrophe if it's representing the missing letter when you join it and is together. If you're ever unsure if it's the right word in that context, you can always try and say like it is in the sentence and see if it makes sense. So in this one, it's not that usage, so you wouldn't use it. Number 3, Jerry's and Cheryl's lunches have gone missing from the fridge. So in this case, you would have the apostrophe S's after Jerry's and Cheryl's to show that they each have lunches that have gone missing. Number 4 would not have an apostrophe because it's just showing the decade in general of the 1980s. There is nothing that is being omitted, and there's nothing that's indicating anything belongs to it. So you don't need an apostrophe there. If you have questions about this or any other areas of writing or citations, we're happy to help you. You can see my contact information on this slide. For more information, check out our other videos or go to the library website. You can find the links in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.